All right, so here we have the infamous KT F500. I came up with that name because it started out as a F350 four-door long bed. Basically built it with all F150 parts. So I just added 350 and 150 together. My math is correct, that's 500. But we built this thing back in like 2016, I believe. But it just came back last week. We're gonna just do a motor swap on it. We're gonna do some heat shield on like the firewall and the trans tunnel and stuff. So this actually is a stock 6-liter, pretty much out of a Suburban. And it dynoed 269 at the rear tires, which is not a lot of fun. It's still fun to drive, but it's pretty low in the horsepower range. So we're putting a Maruzi Special in it. It's a 408 iron block stroker motor. So hopefully you pick up 130 horsepower more at the rear tires. May not sound like a lot, but when you're running through a big 4L80 with a big converter, 2-piece driveline, 10-inch ring gear, 40 spline axles, and 39s, you lose a lot of power. Typically, you lose like 38% through the drivetrain. It'll be a lot more fun. It'll sound more of the part. It's pretty mellow right now. Looking forward to see what it does. Wabba, wabba. That's what a motor sounds like. Engine. It's not a motor, it's an engine. Yeah, so next we're gonna pull the bumper unbolts. So we're gonna unbolt the bumper. There's 2 bolts that literally hold this whole thing on. So we'll pull the radiator and the AC condenser off with this. Pick the motor right out of it, super easy. Take all these accessories off of this one, put it onto the other engine, and then stab it right back in. Aesthetically, it'll look identical. Sound more of the part, sound less like a 80s jet boat underwater and sound more like a hot rod. Oh, and it's another thing, our Billet bump stop caps. This is the perfect scenario to use them. Easiest upgrade ever. I'm not even gonna tell him we're putting these on. He'll just have to wait till he watches this. There you go. Other than just looking awesome, those keep, because water always likes to build up in there and all that gets all rusted right there. So it's a nice way to keep the debris out and just up the cool factor a little bit. Yeah, so inside this thing's pretty much just full raw. I mean, you can see where we notched for the cage and everything. And the cage is raw, no carpet, no paint in there. It's basically just right as we finished it, it just bolted it together and it was pretty much done. We have some plans. We're gonna do a new dash in it, do some heat coating and some like paint on the floor. He likes the whole raw look, so I mean the whole truck's probably gonna stay raw metal for a pretty long time. It's a nice, nice 4-door family cruiser. I mean, it's got 2 seats in the front, 2 in the back. Rear cage layout, we did a little more race truck style. I didn't want to not have an X in the door, because we didn't do any down bars either. We wanted kind of a clean look, so there's no tubes out of the back, out of the top. The wheelbase is shortened a lot, obviously, from the 4-door long bed that it was. Pretty much as short as we can get it without the rear shocks going into where the rear seat would be. So we got it short as we could. Bed sides overlap the cab, and I think we even cut 4 inches off the bedside and then notched it onto the cab. Nice, auto fab fenders. Pretty much the only way to go on these OBS trucks. And then, 39s and Innovates. This is the owner of Innovate's truck, so I sent him a picture of Rough Riders Ford truck, and I was like, hey, let's just do it like this, but instead of red, white, and blue, just do black, white, and gold. So he took like that swoop design and just kind of modernized it a bit. It's kind of got that new school Rough Riders vibe with, with our colors. But yeah, just an all-around solid build and fun truck. We are pulling this old tired 6-liter out of here. That gave us a whopping 269 at the rear tires.
Is that what it did?
Yeah, 269 at the tires on 39s. Lean it towards the back so it doesn't leak everywhere. It's good now. Pick up on the back, try to dump some more coolant out. Nailed it. That's good. All right, since we got the motor pulled out of the F500, Jason wanted to reduce the firewall temps because the firewall and like the floor by your feet, the trans tunnel tends to get pretty hot on an interior where you're having no interior. It's just literally just sheet metal. So we got a bunch of stuff from Heat Shield products. Like we're gonna do some header wrap, you know, they call it lava wrap, you know, for on the headers, and then parts of the exhaust. We're gonna do some of this Heat Shield armor, firewall. We're gonna use some of the gold heat film. Other parts of the firewall, we're gonna use this sticky shield. Just doing everything we can without doing like a full interior to where we could, you know, get that firewall sound a little down and then get some heat protection in there. I've used this stuff a lot before and it all works out pretty good, so I'm excited to see the difference so we can drive around in flip-flops. All right, so we got the whole truck pulled apart and getting ready to put some horsepower in this thing. Probably never make any noise, but you know, might as well put some lube on them. Can't put it in dry. Oh, look at that. I felt it go in. That was easy. Where's that button? Just want to get so fast and furious with this new motor.
A little more. It's going.
What f***ing noise was that? All right, so we're back here on the F500. We got the new motor stabbed in there, all the accessories put on, everything's pretty much finalized. You notice there's nothing right here. So it has the stock core support, which is over there. Just pretty much that unbolts, the bumper unbolts, and it makes it really nice just to get in here and be able to pull the motor in and out with ease. As you can tell, it's super wide open and there's no better scenario for putting a motor together than like this. It was fairly painless to get all this set up, so pretty close to putting the core support back on, firing it up. All right, so we got Rambo over here wrapping the headers, just doing everything we can to eliminate or reduce the heat that you feel on the firewall and the trans tunnels. Header wrap's a good way to try to keep some of that heat down, and it's a huge pain in the ass too, so should be done soon, and then we'll get that thing on the truck. So here we have the new Maruzi Special 408 stroker. Start out just iron block 6 liter, and then he does, you know, all this stuff to it, make it a 408 stroker. I actually have no idea like what cam and all that stuff are in it, but you know, it's built to go with this truck. And on top we got Holley high ram, which we usually run on a lot of our builds. Their throttle body, we got their complete fuel injection, their EFI, everything. And we got full Earl's fuel system, all their hoses, fuel pressure regulator. This morning it had no engine in it, so we're making pretty good progress. We're wrapping the headers right now. We got one already done and in there. Got the heat shield on the firewall. It's nice, we didn't even have to disconnect any of the power steering. It all just kind of unbolted and kind of strung it out of the way. Excited, should be able to fire it up here today. That'll be fun. All right, we got the F500 fired up. I think next we'll just go take it for a test drive. All right, here we have the KTF 500 all wrapped up from the motor swap. We got the Maruzi Special 408 stroker all buttoned up. Exhaust is all in, heat shields are in. Exhaust got back from ceramic. It's pretty much done, it's ready to go. Looking forward to get it back to the customer, and hopefully that new power plant gets them a little more motivation to get it out. Excited to go test and tune this thing. Nice, it actually feels like it's got a big motor in it now. It sounded a little timid before. Definitely sounds a lot more raspy than before. Fun.